Welcome back, beautifuls. It is your girl Malaysia Jordan, the Bougie Bookkeeper, and today we are going to go over how do you accurately and properly file your sales and use tax for the state of Illinois. Now, my accounting firm and bookkeeping firm is located in the state of Illinois. Now, if you are located outside the state of Illinois, then I highly suggest that you go to your Department of Revenue and figure out what it is to stay compliant or what the forms are, what the process is specific to your county and specific to your location. But today we are going to go over for the state of Illinois. So if you're somebody who sells general merchandise, clothing, shoes, anything of that nature, and you're also somebody who sells food, drug, medical supplies, anything like that, any taxable item, then you are required to file a sales and use tax form. Now, when are you required to file this? You are usually required to file it on the 20th after your reporting periods. And reporting periods are determined by the revenue that your company is generating. So if your company is making generally over $200, you will be required to file monthly. If you are making between $50 to $200, then you're going to be required to file quarterly. And if you're somebody who's making less than $50, then you just have to file annually, which is once a year. Now, if you're somebody who you have one business but you have multiple locations, you will have to fill out an additional form. And in the example that I'm using today, which is my bidding company, we are registered in a couple different places. So you will have a great example of what it looks like to have to fill that form out. So on the screen right now, you can see what the sales and use tax form looks like. As you see, it is 2 pages long, and this is just the ST-1. So this is if you're filling it out for one location. Now, if you're somebody out here doing your big one and you have multiple locations for one business, then you're going to fill out the ST-2 form, which is the multiple site location. And luckily, you guys, that's just one form. Now, as I mentioned before, if you are in the state of Illinois, then I highly suggest that you do the online version. Why? Because they plug a lot of the numbers in. They automatically move a lot of the numbers, eliminating any type of discrepancy or any type of mistake. They put the numbers in. They put the correct sales tax percentage. All of that gets automatically put in. But like I said, we're going to go ahead and use my vending company as an example. So as you can see, we had ours, which was due on the 20th. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into how to properly fill this online. So when you first log in, and I'm not worried about you guys seeing the location because we no longer operate out of that location. But as you scroll down, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Do you need to complete a Schedule A? A Schedule A allows you to easily calculate your deductions for your business. So we're going to hit yes for that. Do you need to complete a Schedule B? Now, if you're somebody who does prepaid service or wireless service, and this is for you. If not, completely, you do not have to fill it out. And prepaid sales tax statement for taxes paid, that just shows any taxes that you previously paid, or if you just want to include that, it's completely not necessary. So you can go ahead and hit no. Moving on. Next, you're going to go ahead and fill out your tax and deduction. So this is the Schedule 2. So when you said yes to that first section, this is what it took you to. For the purpose of this video, I am going to leave this 100% blank. I'm not going to fill it out. I will go back and fill it out accurately later, but right now we're going to hit 0. So if you're somebody who collected general merchandise, so for us, we are considered general merchandise because we resell candy bars, or we buy candy pre-packages and we resell them. So we're considered general merchandise. So I would then, if I would look at my statements from, we use a card reader. So I will look at the card readers, see how much taxes were paid. I will either look at my QuickBooks account and see how much taxes were paid, whatever it may be, and then I record that number here. Then this is the same. If you're somebody who is selling food, you have a restaurant, a food business, then you will put it here. If you're somebody who does prepaid services, you will do it here. One thing I really do like about it is if you sit down and you go through each and every single option, they are very explainable by itself. But I do want to explain number 5, which is this interstate commerce. So if you're somebody who you are shipping outside of the state of Illinois, or you're shipping all over the country, then you will have to put how much in taxes you had to pay or are paying to the different locations that you're doing outside of the state of Illinois. But like I said, everything else is explainable. Farmery machine, all that good stuff. Everything you see here is 100% explainable And if you don't understand it, they do usually have a place where you can pull up the instructions. Now, section 2 doesn't have anything to do with me. I don't own a trucking company. I don't own a cab company. But anybody who was using fuel like diesel or gasoline or anything like that, you can put those deductions in here to bring down that sales and tax obligation. Now, when you put the numbers in there, they will usually pop up and generate your total number right here in line 30. The beautiful thing is, if you do it online, is they will take this line 30 and they will put it right where it needs to be in the next section. Go into the next section. Now, like I said, since my business is registered in a few different counties, I have to fill out the ST-2 form, which is multiple site form. As you can see here, it does have the form instruction in case I get lost, and it does show my period. So we have to file ours annually. If we had collected any sales tax, if we had collected any extra taxes or made any type of funds from our different locations, we will then put that here in the general merchandise. As you can see, it already puts your rate in there for you, where the paper form does not. You have to go on the paper form and figure it out for yourself, whereas online, it already has the rates for you, which makes it 10 times easier. So whatever income or sales I made from the other locations, other than the one, this is the one that I'm at right now versus the other one where I might be at. This is each one. You have to fill out how much you made in sales, and then it will tax it at the correct rate. Moving on. Now, next we have the alcohol liquor purchases. So if you're a bar, you're a grocery store that sells alcohol, and this applies to you. My business doesn't sell alcohol. We do not sell alcohol from vending machines, even though that's a great idea. It doesn't apply to us, so we will leave this blank or leave it at $0. Moving forward, we're going to get to, now this right here is the regular form. So if you were to print out the paper, this will be the first sheet. And this is where you will take all your sales, all the income that you made in state, out of state, plus the taxes, and you include it right here. Now, whatever you put in on the Schedule A or this section right here, that line 30 will pop up here. So let's say at the end of this Schedule A and on line 30, it said $40. That $40 would come here. Now, this number cannot exceed this number, okay? Number 2 cannot exceed number 1, or a big screen will pop up and say, hey, I know. For example, if I put $10 here, boom, it says, boom, my stuff is not adding up, right? Because I put 0 on everything else. So if you are doing something wrong, it will let you know that you are currently doing something wrong. So moving down, deductions, like I said, that will come automatically over, and then it will subtract these two to go ahead and give me my final number here. Now we're going to go down here. So again, these are for any sales that I made within the state of Illinois. I will go ahead and put, if I made $100, I'll put $100 here, and then it would automatically put the percentage that I would have to pay on that right here. Same thing, moving down. And then the next section will be for anything that is outside of the state of Illinois. If I shipped outside the state of Illinois, if I made any sales on or outside, if I had any vending machines outside of Illinois, then I will have to put that information here along with those tax rates right here in whichever place that I or location that I was in. And then sales prior to rates doesn't include any of that, because these tax rates have been in effect since about 2019, so it doesn't apply to this. Next. Then we're getting close to finishing up. Okay, you guys, I am jumping into this video because I had said the wrong information on this part, so I want to make sure I say it correctly. So actually what the retailer discount is, if you have qualified for this discount, if you're a retailer and you qualify with the government for this discount, either you made your payments on time a couple times or you paid in advance, then they give you up to like a $5 discount. So it's not a lot, but like a $5 discount, or I think it's 1.75% discount on your tax obligation. So that's exactly what this is. Next, we have taxes on purchases. So if you bought any refrigerators, if I bought any new vending machines, anything like that, I will put it here, and then it will tax me at the percentage, which is 0.625%, and then that will show up here. Same thing if I have bought any type of big purchases to take care of this, any trucks or anything to deliver the food, all that will go here, same down, and then all that final number would add up and come down here. Moving on. Next, we have the net tax due. So this one is we're getting close to summarizing and everything up and getting to what your payment is. But what this do is it just adds up step 4 and 5 right here. Any type of credits that you have, any prepaid sales tax. So let's say that you knew you were going to have a big sales tax payment due and you decide to go ahead and pay on it in advance. That's what this is. Quarterly monthly payments, anything that you decide to pay in advance. Total prepayments, as we spoke about before, you had a big tax liability, you know you did, and you want to go ahead and pay the government before they can get you. That's what this is, and then they go ahead and add everything up here at the bottom. Finishing it up here, you guys. Next, we're going to get into payment due. So this is going to let you know how much in sales tax you need to pay the government. So all that money that you've been collecting off of your purchases and all that good stuff, now that money has to get paid back to the government. So here again, if you're somebody who do prepaid services, this applies to you. If not, it does not. Again, this doesn't apply. Most people don't have excess tax. Total tax and subcharges and assessment due. This is just adding up the numbers, these two numbers plus the total number of the last one, and then credit amount. Any type of credit amount that you get is this is any type of overpayment that you may have paid the government and they didn't want to credit it back to you. They would then go credit it back to you, and they only do it according to how they want to do it. But if they decide that they want to apply it to your sales tax liability, then they will. And then boom, it shows you how much in payment that is due. The last thing you would do is you will then go ahead and submit it. I won't actually submit it because we do have some numbers to plug in, but then you will submit it and boom, that is done. The next one that will pop up after this is it will be how you plan on paying it. You can pay it via check, you can pay a debit card, credit card, you can pay it online. It's 2023. They make it super easy for you to pay. And yeah. Okay, you guys, as you can see, this is what it looks like after you have completed the entire form. It shows you a confirmation. It gives you information, your confirmation number, when it was requested, all that information. And then when you're ready to pay, I highly suggest you always print it out for your records. That's just the bookkeeper in me. And then when you're ready to pay, you just hit to proceed to payment. It gives you two options. You got your bank account debit or you pay by mail voucher. And then you click whichever one you want and you move on from there. All right, you guys, thank you for tuning into the Boujee Bookkeeper. My name is Malaysia Jordan. Make sure you stay tuned for my next video where I'll sit down and I'll actually do the paper form for those who still do paper forms. But like I said, I highly suggest that you just go on to My Tax Illinois, create that account, and do it electronically. That way you can increase accuracy, you can get the correct numbers, and everything can just move seamlessly. And that's all we want for 2023. Okay, you guys, see you in my next video. Bye.